gentlemen, I ask that you remain standing for both the Australia and New Zealand national anthems. Ladies and gentlemen, that completes official proceedings. Over to you, referee Dave Gunning.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kensington Oval. You joined us halfway through the ceremonies before this Anzac Day game. Now regular appearance of the two previous grand finalists. Because from 2021 it was Burnside and Brighton, and Burnside capping off what was an incredible season and an incredible grand final day with all four of their senior sides, the women's, the threes, the twos and the ones, all taking home the big biscuit. I do wax lyrical about Mr. Hankey, Tom Hankey, throughout these commentaries, and I was reminded not too subtly this morning that it is a coaching team, so I must tip the hat to Alistair Hamilton as well as Devo. Absolutely fantastic in their work. Paul Feary is managing this year. Also big news as well, if you've seen it or not seen it or not been around. There will be a whole redevelopment of Burnside Rugby Club and Kensington Cricket Club. That's going to happen shortly. The pre-match ceremony led by Carl Jones, of course, the CEO of Rugby Union South Australia, but also Mike von Berg, huge stalwart of South Australian rugby. Massive respect for the man. Wonderful human being. So it looks like Brighton are going to kick off. Looking at the team, there's not a huge amount of change to the Burnside side that we saw not too long ago, but there does appear to be some name changes for Brighton. Unfortunately, I arrived at the ground a little bit late today, so I didn't get my usual briefing from Jane, although she did steer me wrong last week. So Burnside facing the sun will kick off. And Burnside will have first go at it. Burnside happy just to try and work away from their own 22. Taken back in, so it won't be able to go straight out, which it has. So they're going to come all the way back. And there's not good news on two things there for Ed Wilkes. Number one was he went directly into touch. Two, he looks like he's pulled up a little bit proppy after the kick. But he's put them, well, they put themselves really under the pump a little bit. It's a bit blustery today. Off the top into midfield, short ball into midfield just to try and find a way through the middle of the Burnside defence. I think as you look at this Burnside defence on paper, it is very, very strong both inside and out. As I say that, managed to find a way through the middle. A welcome return to our screens for Ali Wood, wearing the blue headgear. A couple of bites of that cherry, but he managed to get all of it eventually. Ali Wood again, rather less successful than the last time he carried. Brown, little show and go from Brown. Trying to find a way through, and Burnside strong again. Big contact behind the gain line from Wilkes. That'll be an interesting competition between McPherson and Wilkes today. Wood again, putting his hand up early. Brighton just very, very happy to keep possession of this ball as Simpson will go in. Had it stolen, not releasing. So just as I say how well they're doing, they commit the penalty. Better from Wilkes, and might have been the old feeling a twinge because you've made a mistake with the last clearance. So the first foray into the Brighton half of Burnside, they'll go to Brown at the back and off the top, but not straight. Will Cardosa stepping in at hooker today. When we last saw Burnside take on South, there was in fact the words from Mr. Hankey, Tom Hankey, as he finished the game. He said, "I have no idea how we won that." And he didn't take the lead until the last 2 minutes, but the one major positive out of the game last time against South was the scrummaging. The scrummaging was absolutely solid. There's parity in the first one. Good hands on the outside. Now they're away. They will find some room on the outside. Little in and out. From Selwyn Nunu. Man with an incredibly bright future, Mr. Nunu. Got his hat in the ring for try of the year very, very early on. Good hands again. Managed to get it all the way out to Deignan. And they go very short, Hoddle. It's man and ball. It's all a bit messy again and just a little bit of a knock on, so it'll be a Brighton scrum. And they go very short, Hoddle. It's man and ball. It was old collegians, Burnside. It was the first match of the season. Then we had South Brighton last week, so starting to see a lot of Brighton and Burnside. So Brighton scrum 22 metres out. Scrum's gone down. Probably just A little bit of time for them to just work themselves out, work out the two packs. Just looking down the list as well, Nathan Satala not making the starting 15. He's going to come on as an impact player. Joel Plummer on the bench as well. Scrum has gone down again. Can't really blame the Burnside pitch just yet at this stage in the season. It's in absolutely tip-top condition. Short run again inside to the 22. And they will look far side. Starting to wrap around. They may have some numbers if they can move it. Wood. Half makes his way through the tackle. Now they'll open back up towards the clubhouse. Logan Brown finding his way. Try scorer in his last outing. Edging closer towards the Burnside line. Brown rolls away from one, makes another couple of yards. Ever elusive, the wily old fox of Logan Brown. Short again. Just lost it forward. Burnside can clear the lines if they want to. Just going to try and get themselves a little bit of extra space. Wilkes now back in the pocket. And right-footed will send it well into the Burnside half. It's not found touch. It's interesting to see what Brighton will do from a counter-attack point of view. And the first thing they do is find Barker, and Barker will put the ball down on the floor. Now it's a foot race. Foot race won by Sebastian Stocks. And manages to keep his feet and keep the ball for just long enough for his support to get there. Big blast of the whistle, not rolling away, and a free one for Brighton to be able to get out of their own area. Think from her. If they had the chance, Nathan McPherson would want that one back. That was a lazy kick right into the arms of Barker. Another themed ball today. We got an Anzac ball today. At the Emu Feather last week, we got Anzac balls today. I think each club is getting one. Logan Brown doesn't miss his targets. Oh, a little bit of a missed tackle, and they do manage to get through. The winger at least slowed him down. That's about all he could do. Oh, Brown again has made it through. Brown has come to play. Gets into the 22. Dragged down eventually. Everybody loaded up on this near side penalty. Surprised that there's not even a conversation with Mr. Barker. Brighton certainly on the front foot, certainly with momentum, and a penalty committed underneath the shadows of the posts. He is going to go and have a chat with him. Didn't want to stop the game, and they're going to take a shot at goal, but certainly Brighton going forward, Brighton with momentum, absolutely stopped by Barker. It would be a bit early in the game to bring out a yellow card, but certainly it would have been in the mind. Certainly cynical. So McPherson will look to open the scoring. Just trouble the scorer for the first time today. I've over-talked this. He's going to miss it. I know it already. Absolutely wonderful kick. The commentator's curse means nothing to McPherson. Beautiful kick. So Brighton will go 3-0 up. And certainly in the opening 10 minutes, as we approach 10 minutes, Brighton certainly have had the upper hand. Any time that Burnside try and find a way out, they're finding themselves turned around rather quickly. So Barker will have the restart duties. High hanging kick. Stocks is underneath. I had to go back and forward a little bit, but comes away eventually, and again, it's just managed to run away from a couple of tackles. Something that we saw in the old Kill Legions games, just Burnside falling off tackles. Now they'll go open. McPherson will send it into midfield, and certainly it would appear that Brighton have come with the game plan of running the big boys at the midfield. Simpson can't quite get out, does just get out of the 22. Short ball to Stocks. Stocks will find a way around the outside. Then we'll get it away to Ferguson. Ferguson, the old prop sidestep. Little bit of a knock on from Priestley. Robbie Ferguson, the Scottish cannonball. Smashing his way through. Dragged down from behind though, eventually. So it'll be a scrum down to Burnside. Inside the half, the entire field to play with for Burnside. The biggest scrum half in the league will find Ed Wilkes. Wilkes will take right to the line, and it's a good ball. Wilkes again. This time he does put it on the boot again. It's a better kick. He's just given Fraser Green something to look at. Fraser Green taking on the youngster in Nunu. It's all a bit messy, but I think they've managed to keep hold of it, Brighton. Simpson does well. Lamsam pancakes him. McPherson. That is the way the wind's going, so long clearance, but again into the hands of Barker. Priestley just managed to get enough of him to bring him down. Slow ball again. Wilkes again puts the ball to boot, finds Ferguson. Back to McPherson, and McPherson can clear. And the wind will certainly help the clearances. Ed Wilkes kicking away a lot of possession. You may have heard some of the advice coming from over my right shoulder. But he's kicked away a huge amount of possession. Inside liner. I don't remember one since the last one, so they're 0 for 1 at the moment. 0 for 2. Right in front of the Burnside faithful, and it's not the greatest start for Will Cardosa. So Brighton will have a scrum. 15 metres in. So there is a little bit of a blind side for Ferguson to use if he wants it. He started directly behind the scrum. You'd probably imagine him to work open. Good scrum from Burnside, standing up the front rows. Mr. Gunning happy to go. Short ball again. Penalty. They've been very messy, the breakdowns on both sides in this opening period. Opening quarter of an hour. Big, long kick. Oh, didn't get the distance he wanted. It's a line out on the 22 for Brighton. And complete opposite to Will Cardoza. Logan Brown not missed the target yet. That was the commentator's curse, but the charge down from Big Cheese. He would have absolutely loved that, but the whistle had already gone for a knock-on from Brighton. And there we see why he is the fittest and fastest front rower in the state. Absolutely sharp as attack onto that. Reece Fishwick. So Wilkes will sit back in the pocket. It looks like they're setting up for a wiper at the moment. First receiver will be Green. Oh no, they've just gone straight away. And again, it's worked quite well. He just managed to drift away from Robbie Ferguson. But Logan Brown will have the opportunity to redeem himself almost straight away. So Logan Brown will get himself ready. And he's missed again. And Lamsam can try and find a way through. Ferguson will be there. Wilkes to Hoddle. Hoddle is met way behind the gain line. Forced Burnside back a little bit. Now they will look near side and there's a drop. And Burnside and Brighton will get the scrum and just feel, and then a penalty. You just feel that Burnside are punishing themselves. They're making it hard for themselves. I mean, it's only 3-0 on the scoreboard at the moment. Fred Samuel just took his eyes off the ball, was looking about where he was going before he got there. Another good kick from McPherson. Logan Brown needs to just forget the last couple and settle down. I'll talk about anything but lineouts. We'll try that. Burnside member conspicuous by his absence again today, Declan O'Callaghan. Happy birthday, Deck. McPherson. Short ball, and again they just look to batter the midfield with their forwards. Ball on the boot, tried to turn Fraser Green around. Does turn Fraser Green around. Right on their line. Penalty. Just trying to find a signal. There's no signal yet. But it is a penalty. Ali Wood has a decision to make. Do they want the line-up? Can also take a scrum there. Can tap and go. They are going to look for the line-up. Burnside have done very well to stop the momentum, and then around the side, making up for the one that was chalked off. Rhys Fishwick does manage to get his try. I think it's either Rhys Fishwick or Jacob Franz. I might have. Oh yes, it was Jacob Franz, not Rhys Fishwick. Apologies, Jacob. Well, Burnside have done very, very well to stop the momentum of the line-out. And Brighton just managed to break off and find a way through. And either of these two big props from Brighton are going to be very, very difficult to stop from less than 5 metres out. So McPherson will look to just add the extras. Drives that one and the flags go up. So 10-0 halfway through the first half. Barker will restart. High hanging kick again. Wood had to. Again, it just drifts. Once it gets up above the trees, it just drifts around a little bit. Again, they'll look into midfield with Boyle. Penalty, not releasing. Just got himself a little bit isolated. Big number 4. Zach Speet. And Ed Wilkes very, very quick to point to the post. So they're going to go and try just chip away at this lead a little bit. And it's the first chance really that the Burnside are going to look to trouble the scorer. Just got isolated, and Burnside were there in numbers. Able to win the penalty. So Wilkes will look, step, stroke, perfect. Flags go up. Ed Wilkes continues his masterclass in place kicking. So Brighton will restart. 10 points to 3. Converted, try the difference. Oh, and it goes through the basket of Kieran Brown. Not sure whether he just, again, took his eyes off the ball, was looking for where he was going to go, but when it came off the boot, there was the amount of spin on it was always going to be difficult to take. I don't really see on that, but the ball was spinning at an incredible rate of nice, and he just goes through the basket. So Brighton scrum again. Burnside again solid and just starting to move Brighton back and starting to get the ascendancy in the breakdown, but we're going to come back for a penalty. Suggesting that there wasn't a full-arm bind from somebody. Pretty little move in midfield from Brighton, but they've got to go to hand. Very, very close to dropping into the hands of Hoddle. So McPherson, again, that's a very, very good kick. Will get them within the 5. So where they scored the last try from, but in the opposite side of the field. So Brown with the lineup. Just waiting on the ball. A little knock on, I think, from Burnside, from Brighton. I'm just trying to find a way through. It is going to be a Brighton ball. Little pick and drive. Within the 5 again, Lamsam. As slowly as human possible, trying to get out of there. Then the quick hands, then they're down in the corner. Waiting for a signal. Still waiting for a signal. Held up and... or a knock on in the tackle. Couldn't quite see. It was Nick Simpson down in this near corner. See whether I can see anything on the replay. So it will be a Burnside scrum, 5 metres out. Whistling and reset. Can only think it would have been a knock-on from Simpson. For this to be the result, held up would be a dropout in goal. Into touch would have been a line-out. So only thing I could suggest is a knock-on. Wilkes is back. They're not the largest in goals in the world at Burnside. Very early break. That scrum just absolutely disintegrated. Hoddle into midfield. Yep. So tit for tat. That definitely was the case on that. The scrum just imploded. So Wilkes is kicking into the wind, and that's a very, very good kick from that shallow an angle. It's a messy one from Burnside. Marcel Els is wrapped up inside his own 22. Another messy breakdown. Starting to become a feature of today. And Brighton have turned it over inside the 22. Can they move quickly? Again, happy to look short. There are numbers out there if they can go, but they have to go quick. Still there. Now the numbers are out there for Burnside. Hoddle absolutely flew out of the line. McPherson kept hold of it. Brown doesn't manage to shake a tackle this time. Good, quick recycle. Simpson came on the short line. Wasn't required. Ferguson trying to find a way back inside. Logan Brown will stand up the tackle with the help of 3 or 4 of his friends. Again, they're just going to try and find a way through. Wilkes has gone back into the pocket. There is Wilkes. Slightly more rush kick. Just skews off the side of the foot. As the Grand Marshal drops the kick, much to the joy of the assembled masses. Another Brighton lineup. Again into midfield. Fishwick again. He'll have to keep his feet just to wait for his support. Gets there eventually. Out to McPherson. Stocks. Priestley. Can't quite get away from Alum Henson. Now the big boys arrived en masse, but pass missed everybody and it worked almost. A little bit of a knock on. Just a little bit of a stoppage at the moment, just trying to see which Burnside player it is who's a little bit sore. So we've already said Mr. Gunning is in the middle. Our assistant referees today, Alistair Walton and Thomas Greenshields. Alistair Walton very, very close to becoming a grandfather. I think for the second time. I think Callum already has one. So congratulations to the Walton clan. That's Twayo Takaki. He's struggling. He's come off and then gone straight back on. Very soccer-esque. Didn't think that was a thing. I don't know whether that's a new thing. I actually got told off because I didn't check the game management guidelines this year. I have absolutely no idea what the new processes are. I apologise. I'll do my homework this week. Lam Sam gets away from one. And we'll fire it out onto this near side to Conor Riley. Riley is stopped, but the ball will come back. Lam Sam takes it outside the 22, so the direct a touch clearance. They've stolen it. That was either going to be a turnover or a penalty. It's the former. Now they're away again. France. Wood again. Driving towards the centre of the park. Messi again. These breakdowns have been incredibly messy, and I think it's testament to the strength of these forward packs and getting over the top of the ball. So unless you have got plenty of support with you, and we see that wind grab hold of that ball again, so Wilkes will be chomping at the bit for the second half. So unless you are going into a breakdown with strength in numbers, both of these back rows, both of these forward packs are really going to start. That's not straight again. That one is right in front of us. He's getting chirped at by the Brighton bench now, Will Cardoza. And 40 metres out. Again, Ferguson just wanders over to the open side. I do have to keep someone on this near side just in case they do break near side, so it will give Brighton a slight advantage. Again, Burnside looking very good. McPherson out the back to Stocks. And again, Kieran Brown this time just making a nuisance of himself. Quick hands out to Ferguson. Oh, that looked high. Was high. It was collected by Alan Henson. So another penalty. He actually had a look at the post there, I think. It's on the banana, and not a technique I would ever suggest. And they will have a line out 22 metres out. Around 5 minutes to go. Well, they're away. They've got numbers here if they can get there. Ferguson one-on-one. Steps inside. Alan Henson had managed to come across. Did very, very well, Alan Henson. Bouncing ball towards Logan Brown, who very, very strong, gets rid of the first one. Another Brighton player who just seems to get better with age. Penalty. Bang in front. 5 metres out. 5 minutes to go. McPherson is there almost before the whistle ended blowing. They're going to just look to tack on an extra 3 as we approach half-time. He will set it up. I'll just have a look and see whether there's anyone we can say hello to. Karen Williams is watching again from over in the UK. Worksop, England. A spring is springing over there. See that Blair Marshall is in as well. Speaking in code to Fred Samuel. I'm sure he'll pick that up afterwards, Blair. Driven again by McPherson, and we will add extras just again to give them that cushion. More than a converted try. So Parker will restart again. Driven long again. Priestley this time. He's going to try and find a gap, and very, very nearly managed to get through. Lamsam just managed to keep hold of him just by the ankle. Simpson, short ball from Simpson, and again, they just batter this midfield. McPherson, he'll put the ball on the boot. Priestley is after it. Barker catches, gets Priestley straight away. Priestley, or Barker, did very, very well, but now he's rolled himself into trouble. Ferguson had hands on. They always say the kick is only as good as the chase. And Ferguson, Priestley, I think Stocks was in attendance as well. Absolutely world-class chase from the men from Brighton. Logan Brown again. Just a little bit of crossing. So again, Brighton get themselves in. It's been the tale of this first half on occasion. These teams are getting themselves in good positions. Then unforced error will send them back to just stop the momentum. So inside the 22, Wilkes again will stand directly behind. Just feeling that he's got to be absolutely spot on with these clearance kicks, because if he gets one wrong, it's going to come back in a hurry. Oh, Lamsam looks on the outside, gets on the outside, then he will put the ball to boot. Has to stay in, does stay in. Priestley, isolated, will just look to open up into midfield, does open up into midfield, beats a couple. Priestley crossing halfway. Again, slow ball, so the little pick and go. McPherson straightens, gets the offload away. Another offload away, ball goes to ground. You just have to tidy it up. It's all go, Jacob France. Burn to Wood, quick hands from Wood. Man and ball for Nick Simpson. Burn again has to go digging, then they will go back to Wood. Just manages to make it back to the gain line. Everybody, you could throw a blanket over most of the Brighton players here. McPherson showed to kick, then straightened, gets away. Can't get away from Alan Henson. He's very, very isolated. Pick and drive from Brown. Big blast of the whistle, sealing off. And again, very, very kickable for McPherson. And I would reckon we would be close to the last act. The very last act of this half. So McPherson will sort it out. Really interesting that the breakdowns today have been very, very slow. All right, as I say, like normally we would talk about breakdowns being scrappy. It would just be offending at the breakdowns, but I don't think that's the case today. I think just both the back rows have been very, very good at what they're doing. There it goes, and as I suggested, it was the last action of the half. So I will leave you now. I'm going to go and wander down and try and find somebody to have a talk to at half-time, and we'll see what we can do for you. I'll be back with you very shortly. So after my jog back up the stairs, I'm back. I just couldn't get in to speak to anyone, but certainly it was interesting listening to the Burnside halftime team talk. Going to back themselves one-on-one. Went backwards. Fishwick bobbled it, but kept it. But stolen by Burnside. Brown. There was talk about the breakdown. Bundled into touch eventually. Just the stoppage, just trying to see who that is down on the floor. We can't quite see. Looks like a Burnside player. Still hard to see who it is from here. I think it's Mr. Els. I think it's Marcel Els, the halfback. Which obviously they don't want. They do have a replacement on the bench. It's not listed on the in the programme, so couldn't tell you who he is. I will hope that Facebook land will help me out when and if he comes on. And he is going to make his way back onto the field. Just looks like he's holding his ribs a little bit proppy with his ribs. So Brown now with the lineup. Almost stolen by Williams. I'm going to be stealing the ball on your own throw. Be interesting to see whether Brighton will clear and kick from here. Now McPherson is in the pocket. He'll drive that one low. Penalty for offside. They're just a little bit keen to get to him. So they'll have a free clearance, and that's an ordinary kick from McPherson. Just pulled it. Now Green, they're going to try and work down into that corner. They knew that, so did Logan Brown. McPherson's going to have a third go at it, and this time he does manage it. Probably wishes he did that from the penalty. Tom McLaughlin asking about the pitch. The pitch will be hard in the middle, the Don Bradman patch, which hasn't cut up yet. It'll be very hard in the middle, but outside, I stood on it at half time. It's quite a nice little track. Alan Henson through the middle. Brown, short ball again. He's away, the big fella, into the 22. They just all left him alone. Cardosa, he manages to find a little bit of a way through. Wilkes, man and ball for Parker, did very, very well to keep hold of it. Almost like a slip catch. Burnside certainly come out in this hard. They want to play down in this corner. Inside step again. Els, little show and go. Eliippa trying to find a way through. Almost hands on again from Stocks again. Wilkes shows on the outside, then will run back on the angle. Again, they will come to the near side. Brighton again on this near side have space. Very, very slow from the Brighton defender again. Wilkes tries the miss pass. It works. And Tony Barker will go over. Quite possibly one of the most ugly passes I've seen from Wilkes. And sometimes they're the ones that work. Did not go to hand and bounced nicely for Barker. So Marcel Els has come over. He's come over to the touchline again. I don't know whether it's to talk about his injury or it's something else, but that's exactly how Brighton wanted to play. It's what they talked about at half-time. It's not panicking about the big forwards finding their way through the middle, and then when they get chance, work down into the left-hand corner as they look at it. So the corner, the near corner, as you are looking at it. And then put the pressure on, which they did. And again, it's almost the story of unforced errors. If you look back at it, Brighton had the ability with the penalty to find touch, start to build inside Burnside's half, and missed the touch. Wilkes picking up the tee as it's on the way. Had a second look at it, but was comfortable with it. So I think unforced errors will definitely be the message of today's game. The top two teams in the state. Some changes being rung for Brighton. Reece Fishwick is withdrawn from action. Satala has come on, and there we go. Williams has come off, so Satala onto the back row, which is somewhere he's wanted to play. And now we talk about it. Jacob France collects the kick, and it's going to be a scrum midfield with a massive blindside for Burnside, and yet another unforced error. So here is Satala. He's gone to blindside. The man literally could play most places. He may not have the stature for second row. Wilkes. Then he will kick to the right corner. So it is the ability to pin Brighton inside their own 22 is what Burnside are looking at. Oh, it's a Brighton throw in. I didn't think that was inside his own half, but and Maul rolling, starting to find a way through. Ball was out, which meant the player could come around the side. Els, Wilkes, Barker. Els again. Stolen, McPherson. First knock on was Burnside, so Brighton will have a scrum. McPherson slow to get up as well. A big hello to a first-time spectator in Maggie. Watching for the first time. Hello, Maggie. Welcome. Just looks like McPherson's taken a little bit of a knock. McPherson happy to go again, and Brighton will have the scrum inside their own 22. McPherson obviously might be a little bit ginger when trying to clear his lines. Not quite in the pocket. Solid scrum from Brighton. McPherson has to go and get it. Does get it. Just going to work on the outside. And McPherson is slow to get up again. I don't know whether he's going to last too much longer, which might end Satala's day on the back right. Oh no, Joel Plummer will come on. Ready-made replacement in Joel Plummer. He's just warming up. Short ball to Simpson. One of the things they talked about at half-time was not getting sucked in as they went short. So they did appear to be a little bit. Hoddles managed to find his way outside. Again, Brighton just taking it off in small chunks. Oh, straight through the middle. Wilkes comes across. The offload finds itself in Priestley's feet. Priestley gets the pickup. Not sure whether that knock-on was called by Mr. White. It must have been called by Alistair Walton. I don't think he even went for it with his hands. And that change is being made. Plummer will come on. McPherson, he's holding his pelvis. Feels like it might have been a knock. But Joel Plummer will come on. Eventually. I'm getting signals from Wally Barloway to my right. I can tell you, Wally, there was not a knock-on. No, it was definitely not a knock-on. So you see it again. I don't think he keeps his hands well away from it. Wonderfully inventive work from Max Priestley. Strong again from Burnside in the scrum. Both of these scrums, good defensive speed from Brighton as well. Held up, he manages to get the knees down. Big, strong hit from Ali Wood. Burnside now trying to just find a way through. Wilkes, Hoddle. Hoddle big and strong at Plummer. Welcome to the game, young man. Lamson. Elliot, that's a big hit. Got helped by his teammate, I think, to keep him from going above parallel. Wilkes. Short side again, Burnside come. France with a big hit. Els, Wilkes again. Wilkes now trying to find a way through. Beats a couple. Big and strong Wilkes into the 22. And I think that's stolen by Satala. Incredible work from Satala. Oh, slip in the channel and they're away again. Plummer takes his time and it's another one that's not going to go to touch. Good hands from Fraser Green. Then he will put it up. He was, you would think, looking for the corner. Burnside managing to come away with it. Slow and mucky again. Potentially another turnover. No, they managed to come away with it. Wilkes, round the back from Wilkes to Alan Henson. Then to Lamson. Lamson will go in the corner. If the pass from Ed Wilkes for the first try was ordinary, that one was absolute genius from the Englishman. Behind the back, and then Lamson. Lamson was there. Wonderful work, wonderful hands from Ed Wilkes. He's got himself a very difficult conversion. Right on the touchline. You have to leave it way out. Hang it way outside of that right-hand post. Directly behind it, so it'll be interesting to see just how far. Does send it a long way outside first, and then the wind will bring it back round. That is some excellent work from Ed Wilkes on the pass leading up to it and the conversion. So they hit the front. 56 minutes gone. Slightly less time than it was the last time we saw them on our screens. But certainly the left of your screen is where the majority of the action is going to come. Brown does very, very well with Simpson in close attendance. Now they'll go back to Wilkes. Wilkes just overkicked it. Wilkes, it's going to find its way to Priestley. Priestley just straight at the midfield and gets the offload away. Lost the ball in contact. Just get a little bit overexcited with the wind at your back and you want to absolutely kick the bladder out of the ball. In reality, kick it as you normally would and let the wind do its work. But Burnside will get the scrum inside their own half. Another Burnside player has gone down. That's Connor Riley who's down. Conor Riley will look to get some treatment. And again, we'll rely on the Burnside faithful watching on Facebook to let me know who the replacement is. I do not have a list this week. So 17 points to 16. It is the type of game we've come to expect from Burnside and Brighton. Very close. Certainly looked like Brighton in the first half were looking as if they may stretch it out. But it's obviously as the second half, and they've turned around and the wind is at the back of Burnside. They're able to just pin Brighton in. It'll make a very tiring second half for Brighton. They're having to run out of their own half every time. It's every time they try and clear their lines with the boot, it's coming back almost straight away. Wilkes, again, it comes off the side of his foot. Very nearly ended up in the hands of the very dangerous Selwyn Nunu. Riley, there's a Burnside player stuck on the floor, but Mr. Gunning being very, very lenient. Gets them this time for not rolling away. It's Lamsam, who always looks innocent when he gets up from those. So Plummer can move them into the Brighton half, and that's probably the best you can hope for, is just getting into the Brighton half, into the Burnside half. So tricky, especially as a right footer, to find any decent length. Rolls out the tackle, the support is there. Burn again to Simpson. Simpson trying to find a way through. Strong run into the 22. Burn. Satala, I think, had to go back and get that. Manages to crawl forward. Plummer. We'll find Deignan. Burn again. Simpson. Lost it forward. Here's the tale of today. Well, it certainly will be a talking point, because directly from the knock-on, or very, very quickly from the knock-on, Burnside scored a try. Certainly the Brighton faithful will be discussing that. Big scrum from Brighton. It's gone all the way around, and the penalty. That is a big, big result for Brighton. And again, that's going to be Els. He'll be slow to get up. I think he had a rib problem, so if that's gone down on top of him, that's not going to be very comfortable. The world's biggest halfback gets himself to his feet. Well, they're going to go for the corner rather than the points. There you just see the wind. The ball has ended up behind where the penalty was. It's a very, very difficult afternoon. You can just see Alistair Walton's flag there. And I can tell you as well that the breeze has teeth. Not straight, and again that's probably going to be a wind issue. It's a very, very surprising decision to go for the corner. Obviously Joel Plummer didn't trust himself going for goal, or did, or it was an interesting decision to go for touch, especially into this wind. So Burnside will have the scrum again. It'll be interesting to see whether they'll learn anything. They will be making that change for Els shortly. It's out and Lamsam. Out to Wilkes, and then Wilkes, then that's better, but again, essentially overkicked it. Nunu. To Priestley. Priestley to Ferguson. Ferguson steps inside. Another work through the midfield, and again it's lost. It's gone backwards though. I think it was ripped out in the tackle. Cardosa. I think Wilkes wants them to go another one, but Els now will box kick towards the far side. Priestley can go over and get it. It bobbles away. Priestley happy to just get rid. So big changes for Burnside. It is 17 points to 16 to Burnside. As we approach 15 minutes to go. We're bang on 15 minutes to go. Yeah, so the ball was ripped out in the tackle. Yeah, there's no knock on there. And so there have been some changes for Burnside. So Cardozo the next to try and deal with this breeze. I wonder whether Burnside will be the first rugby union club in South Australia to have a purpose-built media centre for me. I keep asking for these things in the redevelopments and they never happen. Just about straight enough. Wilkes. Flat ball to Barker. Barker up towards the 22. Arm comes out. High. Borderline forward from Wilkes, but now Wilkes can push the lead out to 4 points. Still not a comfortable cushion for them. So Wilkes will set it up. There's been a change on the wing as well. So I think Burnside made 3 changes. I think Brighton are getting ready to make more changes. is driven through as well, so they will go to 4 points the difference. So we are approaching 10 minutes to go. There's still plenty of time for Brighton. Been a couple of injury stoppages in this second half as well. Just checking the knee of Conor Riley. Hopefully he's okay. Just waiting for a ball, or there is a delay at the moment. Not entirely sure what the delay's for. So Riley Byrne will restart. Oh, Priestley very, very nearly got there. Burnside again trying to find their way out. Stolen by Wood. Byrne. We'll find Boyle. Byrne again. Into midfield they go. Wood, quick hands from Wood to Simpson. Simpson into Lamsam. Lamsam trying to steal it and rip it away. Boyle gets through one. Brown is there in support. Brown, can he get over the line? Very, very close to it. Arm comes out, potentially for a penalty. Definitely in yellow card territory. They edge closer and closer to the line. Can't quite make it over just yet. There are numbers over on that far side if they can get it out. Byrne stocks, and they've been forced to loop the passes. Ferguson. And Ferguson will get there. Rolled out of a tackle. I think he copped one around the head again, and he managed to reach out and score the try. So momentum swings again. And it's a second and a moment that those first up tackles are missed. And that you're on the back foot. And everything turned around and shows what a good restart can do. High and handsome from Plummer, just not the distance. Not as difficult a kick as he can get on a day like today. So, less than 10 minutes plus stoppage time for Burnside. 21 points to 20. Plenty of time for the lead to change a couple of times. Another change for Burnside as Fred Samuel will come off. Long to the hands of Satala, backwards, brushes off Lamsam. Boyle again, Strong. Very, very good yardage from the big fella. Out into midfield to Deignan. Out the back door to Simpson. Simpson will cross the gain line as well. Burn will find Wood. Out into midfield again. Plummer. Deignan puts the ball on the boot again. Awkward height for Green. Green manages to kick it into touch himself, and he's going to give Brighton a line out in a very, very, very good position. And again, we've talked about the chase and Max Priestley today. His chase has been absolutely outstanding. Wood to Satala. Satala with space. Satala trying to find a way through. Tackled eventually. Burn. Boyle again. Stocks. Straightens up. Tries to find a way through. Offload to Plummer. They've got numbers out there again. Ferguson looking for another one. Ferguson gets another one. Unforced errors. I'll say it again. Unforced errors are the theme of today's game. If he could have his time over again, Green would probably have dealt with the kick behind differently. A great finish from Robbie Ferguson. And that's two for the wee Scotsman. Tekaboo. Plummer again from a long, long way out and into the teeth of the wind. And he's a very high kicker, very 12-6 kicker. Sends it on its way again. He's judged it well in better distance this time. The flag still stay down. So 76 minutes on the clock. So around, probably going to be 3 minutes to go, plus stoppage time by the time the ball comes back. A converted try will win it. You expect this one to go as deep as they can possibly get it. Oh, they've gone high, they've gone to contest. Lamsam comes down with it. Step one is done. Incredible counter ruck. And they've turned it over. Boyle again, who has grown into this game in the second half. Burn. We'll find Brown. Just watch for Lamsam. Lamsam's going to be looking to steal. He's going to look for one-up tackles. He's going to look to Jackal. Penalty. Offside. Just a little bit too keen. Time still ticks down. Just a little bit too keen to step up. Better from Plummer, just into touch would have done them. He's got a decent amount on that one as well. Brighton line out, and it's certainly not going to be a rush for them as we approach red time. Oh, Simpson lost it, but Brown got it. It went backwards. Simpson again, who's just put his hand up for a heap of work today. Boyle again. Still going, gets the offload away again. And it's just gone forward. It's a penalty for offside. It was in front. So Wilkes, how far can he get it? Not quite far enough to really be an immediate threat from the lineup. We approach 80 minutes. There is some stoppage time. There will be some stoppage time. There has been stoppages. A couple of injuries. So this will not end on the 80 minutes. And Simpson will steal it. I tell you, the Von Berg Medal Committee, they've got their work cut out for them today. There's been wonderful performances all over the park from both of these sides. Wood.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye on him as well to see where he is.
Lost forward. Burnside will get another go. Wilkes. Alan Henson. Now they'll come near side. Walton. Just over the 40-metre line. Walton again. They'll look short side again. Tackle was called. He got the knee down. And didn't release in the tackle. Now Wilkes can get them a little bit closer to the corner. Just pulls it slightly. You'd want that to go further than it did. Brown, long way out for a driving maul, but they've got some momentum up. Very, very quick momentum. We are in red time. Arm comes out. There's an advantage. Wilkes. Out the back to Green. Green can't quite get away. Green lost it forward. They're going to come back though. There's going to be another penalty. Lamson wants it. Lamson will look to go. Collapsing the maul. Here's the penalty. Wilkes. Now they are in prime driving maul position. Oh, Brown had to go and get it. Not straight. When your line-out jumper has to go that far outside to get it, it's quite clear that's not straight. So Brighton scrum. Very, very close to the line, and Burnside, we know that their scrum can do special things. If they're going to do it, it needs to be now. There it comes. Brighton just holds strong. Stocks. Tries to find a way. Burn. To Wood. Still in the shadow of the post. The turnover here will be a problem. Satala manages to come away and Satala clears. And every single time you run out of superlatives for Satala. For Satala, he comes and pokes his hand up again. Another big line out for Burnside. Still time. Stolen. Simpson again. Plummer will sit all the way back. Satala will kick it out. That will do it. And by 6 points, Brighton do get revenge for the grand final. Incredible game. 4 points in it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to run down and try and catch someone. We'll see whether we can get someone this time. I'm going to run down and catch someone. You'll hear from you soon.
Can't hear him. Alright, you're gonna have to go back to my camera then. Well, I don't know.
Different story to last year.
And one of the reasons I brought you is because you are, obviously, when we broadcast our games, it's a huge amount of support for you from overseas. So if there's anyone you want to say hello to, Ali.
Cheers, Max. Grandma, granddad, mum, dad, Rob, whose wedding we've just been to. So thank you, everyone who's watching. I'm sure the boys get around it. Cheers.
I'll go and let you celebrate it. Well done, Ali. Well done, Ali. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Kensington Oval, we will see you again next week. Thank you very much for joining us.